Good morning. Good afternoon, everybody. This is Joanna from the Early Morning Ascension Show, and we're so happy that you're here. Yay, hi. Sending love and rainbow hugs. Today, we wanted to talk about the process of realigning to the truest version of you. And we all know how important that is because we've spent so much of our time here in the 3D, putting all of our attention and all of our focus on the outer. We've built systems around grading, around comparisons, around the world that we see being our signpost. And yes, in a way it is, but it's not to it's not a signpost of how we measure ourselves and what we measure ourselves to. It's merely a reflection on how we can jump off of and begin and continue the evolutionary and eternal growth. We're constantly evolving, we're constantly changing. That will never ever cease. And one of our famous sayings on the 3D is there will always be taxes and there will always be change. And so taxes, however, in the future may change with the more open and aware we are with our consciousness and understanding about how we earn money and what we value ourselves to be and how we value ourselves, and creating systems of monopoly that are changing drastically to be more fair and equitable for all peoples to share in the success of. Is going to be something that we'll all be a part of creating. The more aware and awake we are of who we are as spirit, the more aware and awake we are of all things being spirit, we then co-create in this beautiful world of spirit. All things are spirit. Every aspect of life is spirit. Every aspect of what we think to be, what we've been taught and shown to be not conscious, is conscious. It's consciousness awareness of its role within creation, whether it be a rock or a tree or any other aspect. All things are an aspect of sentiency in some respect, in some regard, depending on what role it chooses to play and what role and form it chooses to roll out with the spirit creator, and how all of those contracts are made is the most divine, elegant system of divine plan. And why, as we awaken to our greater, grander selves, we know that there is a divine intelligence. And there's much going on in many fields of study with regards to the divine intelligence and how we're becoming more and more awake and aware of our control and we say control in such a light and joyful word because it's not what we've come from in the 3D perspective. Control meaning that we create our worlds and our realms, and we can stop complaining and blaming and shaming the outer aspects of us being victims. We've created all of these experiences. We've co-created it with the limiting, fearful based psychology of who we are. And now that the process of awakening bathes us with light, bringing up those staunch and stifled beliefs, bringing up those energies that must be cleared, bringing up those imprints that you've taken on as a soul contract. All of those are ready to be looked at and faced and valued for the lessons that they've taught us, to evaluate every moment as to who am I now and how can I realign to a more honorable sense of truth. That honorable sense of truth must be, and there's no way around it, to spend that daily time to self-reflect. Who am I? How was I in that experience of co-creation? Did I speak my highest truth? Was I aware of my highest truth? How can I come to the table and perform in my highest and best? Because that's your ever alignment to who you are as spirit, nourishing yourself as spirit and having your back as spirit. Nobody's going to do that but you. And it must stand within your sense of values and your sense of truths. And that will be who you become as the leadership of you, the commandantship of you, if you will. And that is your body, mind, heart, spirit, and soul all harmonizing as one. Nothing outside of you, as these bees have been following me everywhere today. Our bee population is so very needed and respecting of it. So we thank you, Guy, and everybody for keeping their well wishes for our nature and our plants and our animals. So thank you, Spirit, for allowing that to come forward. So we're going to talk about today, so many people have these all confusions when you're awakening about all of these stories and these tragedies and these purges that are coming up from our reality, for us to reflect and observe, where does that show myself within this experience? How can I accept and acknowledge myself within the greater whole? And what about me is needing healing in this experience? How can I align to a more higher vibrational sense of truth? It goes back to the very beginning of every core wound being created from this beautiful little epicenter of who you are. This epicenter of who you are is the all of you as a soul coming forward with certain energies that you've chosen to take on as the sacred Trinity. The sacred Trinity is who are you, what you exist within, and what exists within you. You're the Mother and the Father and the Divine Holy Spirit, so that you can transcend those densities from vibrational timelines that you've chosen to be a part of. The vibrational timelines that we've chosen to be a part of as a collective is separation. As far away from spirit as we can hold ourselves, and pretend that a reality exists outside of spirit, which we've co-created these illusions and these fears and these reality templates around, which is called the matrix, if you will, which is all mindfully created at very great lengths. And those that are wanting to hang on to that matrix of mental realm reality, because they feel that that's the only thing that they can master and navigate around, is the mind, which becomes overexhausting, which becomes mentally imbalanced. And then you become in what they say is a mental breakdown, if you will, because the mind cannot move you through these powerful movements of evolution, which is the pulling up of these soul fragments, the pulling up of these soul experiences, being the reflection of all those energies outside of you, how you behave, how you act, your thoughts, your words, and your deeds. And then you're experiencing it as the reflection back to you. So those are all of your own creations. However, if you're not experiencing yourself and claiming yourself and acknowledging yourself as a divine multidimensional being, it can be very confusing because it's like, wow, well, I thought what I believed was true, but my reality is kind of showing me something different. And I gotta take charge here, because nobody else is going to lead your boat. Nobody else is going to guide your ship. You're the one that's got to go within and say, what am I experiencing? Who am I? And how can I take the reins of my own experience and become more truly aligned with who I am? Regardless of any outside experiential reflection or story or mandate or rule or law is showing you, you are a divine being with source, and there are rules and love and benevolence and support and guidance and teams that are backing you that you have no idea, that are always there for your evolutionary support. And however a soul must learn, the soul must learn. And spirit will continually show you the same version of you that you're projecting out to creation until you get it. And that could mean many tower moments. Because when one lives from a singular point of view, the mental point of view, or the limited point of view, it will continue to show limiting tower moments, where it's being blocked and limited and very stagnant and very narrow-minded and very singular in its perspective. And that's all well and good. There's no judgment. But at some point, the soul will want to wake up out of that and say, well, okay, if this is not working for me, it's causing me great pain and great loss. How can I choose to be different? And that's when you go within and you realign with the center of who you are and you choose anew. Awakening is all about shaking the shit up, shaking it all up because it wasn't working. Whatever illusions that any person is sitting within in any given moment, whether it's an unhappy relationship, whether it's working in an unhappy job environment, whether it's not being aligned fully in the gifts and skills that you have to come forward with. We're all moving through those profound moments of self-alignment and self-change. But we are the ones that have to take that first step. As Spirit said, we're the ones that are here harmonizing and transmuting. Transmuting is the alchemic process. And one cannot suggest and guide another through alchemy if one hasn't done the alchemy oneself. So this is where many of those of us that have been online for many, many years teaching and written many books and done our work from the devotion of who we are as spirit, those of us that have come forward, and many are proclaiming that my work and others' work is their own, and the copying and the mimicking and the doppelganger and all of those things that occur, because it's directly showing everybody in the collective that there's a profound lack of sense of self. And in doing so, those easy taking things that the ego wants, because the ego wants that accolade, the ego wants that membership, that subscriber, the ego wants that place on the platform. And that's all well and good, but that's not going to sustain you over a length of period of time, because those that have come to hear you speak of greatness and to speak of the spirit must have the spirit within to be of spirit, to understand the alchemy of spirit. How does spirit alchemize? How do you alchemize a soul wound? What does it feel like to alchemize a soul wound? How does one go about doing so? And so all of these things will be shown and will be discerned because it can be felt, because that's the authentic alignment. When somebody is in true authentic alignment, one knows absolutely who you are in vibration, in truth, in saying, in word, and deed, because you emanate it, you radiate it. It can't help but be radiated. And therefore, spirit will just continue to bring tower after tower after tower, because those that seem to copy and those that seem to take and do whatever they do out of lack of sense of self, or their disbeliefs and their limited points of view about themselves, they're going to have to take those tower moments in heed and return back within and say, who am I? And that's what awakening is all about. In any given moment, who am I? What was I believing before? How can I change and heal and accept myself as fully fully accepting and fully honoring of who I am. The value of who I am is changing. And I'm going to rewrite my story so that I honor myself, I value myself, and I come forward with my unique tricks, my unique gifts, my unique wizardry of who I am. And we say tricks in that I'm going to create something that is unlike anything else. And it can seem like a trick, if you will. And we don't mean that in the disregarding respect. We mean that life is meant to be sacred and playful. And you're going to play around, and you're going to want to play, and you're going to want to experience. You're going to want to be the adventure of you, but not at the expense of another. Not when you're bringing harm and damage to another. Not when you're defaming other people to bring accolades to yourself when you know it's false. And those are things that karmically will have to be made right and adjustable and accountable. And so too, they're saying those that have been involved in the knowing of what has gone on, but not come forward and said anything. There's karma involved in those stories as well. So what part is each person playing when things are being unearthed, and there's been those that have known what's going on and not coming forward to correct and to heal? There will be many things unfold in our reality, in our communities. And at what point did each person have a part to play? And how can one be accountable to say, no, I want to be my authentic truth because I don't feel good holding in these things that are not okay. It doesn't make me feel good. I'm not aligned with spirit in that way. And that's each person's own defined path that must be realigned. Spirit will then begin to create new cycles and new circles when that soul in and of itself has gone within with spirit and said, how can I create a more authentic, genuine, truthful path for myself? What is it that I need to see and to do and to take action on? And spirit will always guide you. Spirit will always guide you in what is meant for you. But it's up to each person to say, well, this is within my realm of doing an action. This is within my realm of becoming. So I'm going to choose to do this. It makes me feel good and empowered. That's when you reclaim all of those energies that you gave out to somebody else, that you gave out to things that you thought were yours that were not yours. Those energies and those beliefs that thought you had to be like somebody else to be accepted or to be honored or valued. And all of those is that reclaiming of energy. That's alchemy. And when you understand that, when you get that, that's how I can say in the process of alchemy, true self-empowerment and true self-confidence doesn't come from anything outside of you. It comes from those moments where you are on your knees and you are in absolute surrender with spirit, and you are shown a vibrational match of who you are by surrendering to the greater part of who you are. That's alchemy. When you think that the mind does not know and the mind can't work its way around, it's not meant to. You're meant to surrender deeper into who you are as pure, pure, pure love. That is alchemy. And it is a process that is sacred, that is intimate, that is beautiful, that is unmistakable. When you feel alchemy within you, when you feel your connection with spirit, when you feel your connection with God and your higher self, there is nothing and nobody that can tell you how that feels. It's a unique experience to each person. That is pure alchemy, dear friends. And spiritual one-liners are well and great, but if you don't understand and don't feel and don't activate those pure moments of transmutation from what was to what is, and showing yourself and being of yourself and expressing to yourself of who you are, spirit, that is spirit. That's spirit in action right there. And that's when your whole body is trembling and you've released that density. You've called in that greater part of who you are. You're now alchemizing that greater soul of who you are. And it's different and unique for each person. That's alchemy at its richest, at its purest. And it is an action, it is an intention, it is the purity of who you are at your heart. You can't think your way through alchemy. It cannot be done. It cannot be spellcasted. It is the intention of who you are as a spirited being, which all beings are, which all life is. Spirited energy of spirit. All things are of spirit. The spirit is matter. Spirit makes matter. Spirit harmonizes and creates matter. Your body is matter. Your body is spirit. That's why you can alchemize and create and release any parts of disease or imbalance, because the spirit is of it. Why imbalance occurs is because there's the imbalance of what spirit is saying you are, but the beliefs and the acknowledgements of the matter just aren't catching up. And that's why we have to continue that daily process of, who am I? What do I exist within? How can I more purely align with who I am so that I can garner that light and I can become more of me, so that I'm not looking to anybody else's story outside of me, and I certainly won't surrender to it. I know who I am. I know what my truth is. And I'm going to speak my truth. I'm actually going to sing my truth. So today in our channel, here's some channeled notes. Feeding your cells with happiness and joy will create synchronicity. the elements of surprise is that which breaks barriers of belief. And we all have that in our reality. We all see these beautiful, incredible miracles that are unfolding right before us. And those are the elements of surprise, those little surprises that spirit brings up for the collective to see. Wow, that changes my perspective. Boy, that changed my perspective. They can do it, I can do it. All of those are the elements of surprise. Similar to the underdog or the unexpected or the misunderstood, bringing change to show the way for many. Because our expectations are everything that we've put our power and our choice in with regards to our leaders. What have we always thought our leaders to be? Or what if they're not really that? And that's the element of surprise. What if the element of surprise is not a leader that has the most money and has nothing to do with humanitarian efforts, even knows what a humanitarian is? But it's their pocketbooks that gain them the greater encompassment of votes. So how are we changing our perspectives and our beliefs on that? And what values are we holding within that? And why would we hold values to that? This is changing and shifting. It's the upside down effect. Instead of it being mental, mind, and ego, all these matrices are falling away. The corruption is falling away. The fairness that has never been is now being installed, because the greater elevation of our consciousness and our awareness of who we are is now spiraling into greater motivation. I'm motivated to know who I am. I am motivated to be the most beautiful element of surprise for my day. I get to choose. Nobody chooses for me. I get to choose my new path. I'm breaking the pattern, breaking the pattern, breaking the pattern. And that is the element of surprise. That's when synchronicity is shown to you in every way. You're on the right path. Keep going. That's pure alignment with your higher self. When the patterns that have been so regular, and there's a profound event that shakes up it all, that shakes up and breaks everything, breaking up the stagnant patterns of energy, because everything is energy. When you feel so stagnant, nothing is changing, nothing new is growing, nothing new is coming in, the abundance has been blocked, and all of those experiences, and you're feeling sick, you're feeling unmotivated, you're feeling non-creative, those are stagnant realities. That's de-evolution. Disinvolvement with who you are, disinvolvement with your spirit, disnourishment with your spirit. The spirit is not being nourished. Spirit is constantly growing. Spirit's constantly expanding. Spirit's constantly creative. Spirit is infinite. Ideas, 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 ideas. That's how you know you're tuned in, you're tapped down. You know that. I know I am turned on. I am turned on with who I am. I'm absolutely in line with spirit. I can feel it. There's a difference. So discern, dear lighted ones. Discern the energy of which you flow within. Discern the environments through which you create within. What needs to be cleared, what needs to be cleaned out. Your sacred space is waiting for you to create it. Your sacred space knows where you sit and what energy goes on there. You got to shake it up and clear it up. Your energy knows that. That's why people that are creative change and move about in different spaces, because they need to shake up the energy. They got to recreate in new ways. Everything is energy. Remember, spirit creates the matter. Everything is always spirit first. Your body is spirit first, then it changes and molds to matter. So what is your body showing you? Are you youthful? Are you alive? Are you excited? Are you shining? Are you glowing? Are you radiant? Are you in alignment with this beautiful essence and network of God, of spirit? And nothing to do with religion. It has to do with the alchemy of creation. The alchemy of creation is for every thought, word, and deed, therefore is your reaction. And who are you? What have you been creating? You cannot blame anybody else. This is your creation. What is before you? So suss it out. Suss it out. And if there are triggers there, begin there. What was triggering about that? Because there's light within it. There's truth within it. And so suss that out. What is my new truth? Well, maybe that belief about me was not what I thought. Maybe I can create more. Maybe I can be a bit more involved. Maybe I can align my body to greater health. Okay, well, let's do this, spirit. Every word you speak is spirit. Spirit coming back to you, spirit entangling with you. So what do you speak? Do you speak of the pure heart intention of your vessel? Does your vessel listen with the cells and the vibration of happiness and joy? Happy people can feel happy bodies and happy cells. You can see visually a being that is happy because their body looks healthy. It's aligned. It's aligned with the earth. It's aligned with all that is magical. They were showing me in my visions this beautiful, a vision that I had when I was little. And they were reminding of it because all the animals and the insects start to follow me, because my aura is becoming of the alignment of who I am as the keeper of all that is goodness and all the kindness, and just as Jesus did. And many, many masters that walked the earth, and flowers would just come up out of the earth because of the energy that was inspiring creation, the energy that was inspiring new growth, the energy that was inspiring and encouraging benevolence and love. That is the element of light and love. That will always be the element of surprise. There's something within it for you to break up old patterns. Even the smallest pattern, if you have coffee at a certain time every day, break that pattern up. Maybe have it on the patio and talk to nature. So create your world in new and different ways. Many of you are still creating from a place of fear because you're not understanding that you're in a new realm now and you're not sure about what's next. We answer your call as all children. You are all children to us. You are all children of spirit. You're all children of God, young and old. You are allowing yourselves to see patterns and then choose, if you choose to create a new pattern of love and light, which is more flexible and more malleable. You can choose new beginnings. You can choose new direction. You can choose new intention and let go of the patterns that were held in stagnancy and vibrations that are ready to be broken up and calling in that new energy of light, that new oscillation of code. But you must inspire and ignite it. You must create that seeding. That's the seeding of new earth. And understanding in your alignment of spirit, you're breaking up the old so that you can, like they were showing me, breaking up the soil so that you can seed new life. And that's what's happening right now. All of these experiences that were corrupt and uneven, inequitable, unfair, unjust, all of the things that we've seen and we all know that is happening underground, and all of these experiences that are now being sussed up and sussed out and bathed with light so it can be broken up. We're allowing ourselves to plant new seeds. What is our new value of self? How have we allowed the devaluing of humanity? How have we allowed the devaluing of one another? How have we allowed the devaluing of our children to be held in captivity for selfish agendas? How have we allowed the essence of their light and their trust and their joy and their fervor to play to be taken by the selfish agendas of others? And the selfish agendas of others, how have we allowed them to go so long without being healed? Because those that abuse and those that wound are also wounded and also have been abused. So at what point will the leadership stand, regardless of the money in their pockets, and take claim for the humanitarian efforts that are required? These are new leaders, dear lighted ones, because we're aching for it. Our hearts are yelling for it and screaming for it in divine benevolence and proclamation. This is who we are. We have grand issues to suss out. Who are we, dear lighted ones? We are profound beings and we are all children of spirit. However you choose to place it or define it in a box of religion, it's your will and it's your choice. But we are all spirit, and we can all choose to pray and we can all choose to walk in benevolent ways that honor all life and the voices of all life, and not have anyone in claim or entitlement of anybody. Why would you claim entitlement to anyone? It's because you're feeling a lack of yourself that you choose to feed yourself through the outer energies of another. And that, again, go within the wound and heal it. There's no title, there is no house, there is no amount of money that can give you what you really and truly desire as spirit. That is the only alchemy. It is only you, and it is only you in spirit. That is why the spirit quickeneth. The spirit is the only quickeneth. It can be falsely, and it can be additives, and it can be addictions that might quickeneth for a moment or two, and then you're back down again. And then you're only creating self-harm because it's an outer experience you reach for before reaching within. And those are lessons, and those are benevolent, and those are profound lessons. But who am I? What truly quickeneth? How can I harmonize and align with that? That is my highest and best. For I will always know that I will be given, I will be shown, I will be offered the way. There will always be a house, there will always be food, there will always be those to support me. I trust that. I absolutely trust that. I wouldn't be here if that wasn't the case. There are divine beings of light that have shown me time and time again. Trust, Joanna. We've got you. You're led by the Most High when you're aligned in it. In an instant, things can change, and all of creation feels the ripples of the potentiality of humanity. And many of you reside within such fear and worry, but do not trust yourself as new creators. You are not measuring yourself to the outer world anymore. Now you choose to go within and create through excitement. Remember, that's again about realignment, calling all of your consciousness and all of your attention and all of your focus and all of your direction within who you are. That's daily self-care throughout your day. I reclaim my consciousness. I reclaim my focus. I reclaim my intention. I reclaim all of the direction of my energy, and I'm going to create for me, for me. And creating for you should never have to take away from another, because the universe is always abundant. There's never ever a win or lose in creation. Never, never. The universe is abundant in all things. And those that believe not, then there's where your wounds are. Begin to heal that. Those that understand universal law, those that understand the Holy Creator, those that understand Source Creator and the One and the Great One. The universe is abundant, dear lighted ones. And we offer you this to muse upon and ponder and dream and wish and pray and whatever it is that you so choose, to go within and be that little child, because as a little child, you absolutely knew that the Great One was infinite, was abundant in all things. You and the Creator were very entwined and entangled, but you seem to forget that, and your little wounds cover those hearts of yours, and you become solid and cold and closed off, and you forget to hear and to see and to feel for Spirit in all things. For I speak of these things, and that is truth. And for there is the living word within this truth, and that living word can be felt and heard and known by all that are open within that truth. And if it is not your truth, then so be it. That is okay. For your truth is where you are right now. So own it. Own at least that. Who are you? What is your truth? Are you vibrating within your truth, or are you vibrating within the truth of another? For that is not you, that is another. So, dear lighted ones, we say to you time and time again, who are you? Time to get off the fence. Who are you? Stand firm in your own feeting. Who are you? Because that is what's needed on your planet. Individuals that know who they are, not following the pockets of another, not making decisions from the pockets of another. These are ego decisions and will allow you to return back to where you came from. Ego. But you are shaking that up now. You're calling it what it is. Those are ego choices of separation, thinking I couldn't create abundance through my gifts and my talents and just having joy as a child. Why not? Did it when I was a kid. I can do it again. I will create again and again and again. My work is my work and it stands on its own. My vibration is my vibration and it stands on its own. Nothing can be copied. I cannot be mimicked. And it's lighthearted that some may try, for it's fun for a moment or two, but don't take it into your whole entire life and become it, for it's not you. You don't have to pretend. Simply be, and you will be rewarded. That is your lesson. Why would you separate yourself from yourself? Profound. The simple rules to live by, that you are always changing. There will never be an end to change. When you focus your love and intention on what brings you joy, what brings you happiness, what brings you excitement, you will always be guided and aligned more deeply within. So what are you aligning to? Are you aligning to the ego and what can I get? What can I take? What can I get? What can I take? How can I control? How can I control? Those are all ego narratives. How can I do better? How can I get better? How can I have a safer environment? How can I this and how can I that? That's ego. Slow down. Take a breath. Thank you, Spirit. Thank you, Spirit. I call upon the Spirit that quickens. Thank you, Holy Spirit. And if you're outside, please place your hands on the ground, Mother Earth. Thank you, Holy Spirit, Mother Earth. And drink in her generosity. Thank you, Holy Spirit. From the heavens above and the earth below, I am that I am. From the heavens above and the earth below, I am that I am. I am a divine crystalline light of holy beingness. Thank you, Holy Spirit. And all the aspects of me from all dimensions, all realms are harmonizing in this moment. I reclaim my consciousness. I reclaim all fragments of soul that I am. Fragments of myself that I refuse to accept. Fragments of myself that I sent away. Fragments of myself that I disowned. Fragments of myself that I shut down. I reclaim all those aspects, for they are all me, and everything before me shows me who I am. Take a deep breath. I am the profundity of who I am. I am that I am. Thank you, Holy Spirit. I claim all that I am, and my direction, my intention, and my focus is me. I reclaim all my energies. I reclaim all my light. I claim all that I am in this moment of now. For all my consciousness is me. Nothing outside of me can touch or apprehend my consciousness or change my consciousness or thwart my consciousness. I am that I am. Anything outside of me, any thoughts, any words, any deeds, I return to Spirit and I return to the alchemy of love. My being here alchemizes. My speech of love alchemizes. The attention of love and oneness alchemizes. All that I am, I radiate and I alchemize. Thank you. Tabai chi namakai dedicate shisia namakai dedicate namaela. I namakara de ki. Haisen makari de ki nama a e tesia namaka a es namakara de ki amai de ki. Aisen makara de ki shisia namakara de karaban ma a e de ki a e de ma I e a ma e de ki a. They're saying that there is a sacred blessing coming to you all, for all of you to seek within who you are, to re-anoint yourselves within a new frequency of alignment of who you are. So in any moment that you're moving through life, you can ask yourself, when you're in confusion or chaos or misunderstanding or not knowing, just simply breathe. Align the energies along your spine, align your chakras through intention. I am the alignment of who I am with Spirit. Thank you, Holy Spirit. And I give promise and love and honor, and I bring proclamation to who I am, and I allow myself to align with my fullest and my best. I need not look outside of me for the validation and the value of who I am. I am that I am. I am the alignment of who I am. I return to all that I am as Spirit, and I'm guided as Spirit. The alignment and the benevolence of Spirit will never ever ask that you sacrifice anything. Will never ask that you sacrifice your light or compromise your light for anyone or anything. The spirits and the benevolency and the light councils and the light regions would never ask that you sacrifice any aspect of life, for life is sacred. Your sacred ancestry and your sacred tribes would never ask you to sacrifice any aspect of life to accomplish or to get or to have something. And if you're not getting or having, it's because there is a soul lesson there for you to go deeper within and accept as your own. For life here, dear lighted ones, is not about getting and having. It's a small aspect of your co-creation. You're meant to go deeper and wider. You're meant to break up those ego experiences and those wounds and call that inner child to play. You're here for much deeper, wiser, and more profound lessons of sacred play and creativity. And at some point, the cycles and the patterns, you will want to break them. For there is such boredom within them all. You can't find them through another, to another, of another, and take it from another. It must come from within. How the alignment of who you are is all that you need. The alignment of spirit and love and light. Your sacred trinity. Who are you in the sacred trinity? The mother and the father, the balancing of your chakras, the balancing of love and light, the will of who you are, the creator of who you are, the allowance of who you are, the acceptance of who you are. Who are you? Who are you? Take a deep breath. I release any and old aspects of me that are ready to be rewritten. Thank you, Holy Spirit. And I reach up to the heavens with a beautiful breath of holy white light. Thank you. And just see these beautiful visions of beautiful golden white light bathing upon you, just to clear out any densities, any energies and any entities that are not of love. Please release now, now, now. Any energies and entities that are not of highest love, now, 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 be gone. Back to source, please. I am the commander of my fields and my bodies. My consciousness belongs to me, my voice belongs to me, and my choice belongs to me. I choose to create a higher vibrational earth, for that is why I'm here. I am here to bring the acknowledgement and the wisdom and the intelligence of all that I am as a soul, and they may be activated through my DNA. As I harmonize in who I am as a being of greater light, I sing and I dance of great light and great light codes. And every moment I do so, I am aligned with a greater version of me, for I will always change. Change is change, dear lighted ones. Excite and delight yourself in it. Fear not. Be as flexible and malleable as you can, dear lighted ones. Your reality will ask you of it. You will be needing to adapt. You'll be needing to be flexible in these new energies. Ask the energies every day. What is it that you're asking me to release? How may I be flexible in these energies today, Spirit? How may I trust more? How may I allow more? There's so many channelings. Well, they were thinking about how to know that you're connected and speaking with Spirit. And when you're first awakening, you're always wondering, am I speaking with my highest self? Am I speaking with Spirit that's always talking to me? Everybody has psychic and intuitive abilities. It's just a matter of what point you're practicing and how you're stretching yourself into new abilities. Because as we've said many, many months ago, the abilities and the capabilities and the tools and the gifts that we're moving into now, they're not like they have been, and they're going to be different, and they're going to want different ways that we practice with our gifts and our environment. And so you're going to have to amp up your playtime with Spirit and how to go into these gifts and how to bring them forth anew. Because not only are those gifts the remembrance of who you've been on these timelines, and your ancestors are often gifting you with new gifts and wisdoms, and they're activating you through your DNA, and they're activating you through your dream time, and the codes are sitting within your Merkaba. All of these things that you are as a multidimensional spirit. It's a multidimensional experience, and that's why our healing will be multidimensional. We will be rewriting our psychology and our philosophy. We will be rewriting our education systems. We will be rewriting what we know and think about our DNA and about spontaneous healing. We will be rewriting our understanding of illness and disease and how to rewrite those patterns. We will be understanding the corruption and how imprints and the imbalances have had such a devastating effect on us. The patterns of control, the patterns of fear, and the patterns of limitation have had within these corrupt societies that will be our greatest teachers to bring forward greatest rebalancing of our mental, emotional, and physical bodies. And why many of you, there probably won't be any of you listening that hasn't heard or known of somebody or known of yourself that has gone through the uprooting of your mental stability. because your mental stability is now in a 4 to 5D vibrational creational thread and sheath, if you will. So it's looking for you to guide it into how to make sense of its new reality. And so when it's not making sense of its reality, when it's not taking that daily self-care, it's not being grounded, those psychotic points that are looking are still trying to reach into that old cycle that's now gone. And that's why it tries to control and create those old cycles. And that's why people want to move away from those old cycles. They don't want to create that anymore. And so your daily self-care and rewriting who you are and realigning with your higher sense of self will help you continue to move and keep up with the light that's constantly going to be bathing. That's just the natural law of progression. And so to know that you're always in alignment with spirit, spirit will always guide you and align you to your highest and your best, of always being gifting of yourself and to others, will always be in the highest and best love and light, for love and light beget love and light. There will never be any asking of sacrifice, sacrificing of anything that is life. Spirit would never ask of that. And so discern any person or being that asks you to sacrifice anything, or using spells to manipulate and to contrive and to sacrifice any aspect of life. Those are discernments that one has to take upon oneself and the karma that that creates. Spirit will always allow you to go deeper within your gifts and to stretch that. Speaking multidimensionally of your gifts and the cues, the symbols, and the tools that will often be growing as you practice it. This is how fast we're expanding. Your gifts and your tools and your potential will be expanding as you use it. That's why it's so important to get out and do things that are new. So to get out to the forest and do your own healing session and start tracking what you're feeling, what you're sensing, what's being healed, how do you feel? Start creating those moments of profundity with you and your planet, because your planet is just waiting for you to engage. And then you'll start participating with your gifts as they're growing into it, because you're going to start remembering things from other timelines that are just naturally waiting for you. But in our 3D, 4D world, what's being shown to us is nothing to do, because there's nobody that's taking the lead on these 5D's potentiations. There's no leaders of 5D that are showing you, here's how to heal and clear your body. Here's how to stay in alignment with your higher self. And so hopefully our offerings will assist you into staying in the process of alchemizing and integrating these lights and helping you become new and beyond the beyond, become the unknown. And we empower you and inspire you to do so. Spirit will always empower and inspire you to create, and it will always be joyful, and it will always be loving. So if it doesn't feel loving, if it doesn't feel joyful, and if it does harm to another, then you're not in alignment with spirit, and you're not hearing entities that are in alignment with light and your evolution, or your highest and your best. Those are energies, and those are negative egos, and those are negative entities that are directly related to other negative entities that have agendas. And so discern. And everybody will have to use their own discernment, right? Because you know what you're hearing and you're sensing, you know what you're moving through, you know, and why daily self-care is so important. When you know who you are, you know who you are. When you know what you're saying and you know what you've experienced, you know what you're saying, you know what you've experienced. It's not wishy-washy. It's not back and forth. It's not flighty and flaky, because that's erratic. That's when you're not grounded, and your energy fragments and all of those things are being floated out because there's so many energies that you're paying attention to, and none of them are directly to your higher self. And so this is why it will be very important to turn off all distractions, get connected with your planet, and realign with your highest and your best. That will allow you to be your highest multidimensional perspective, aligning your body, your heart, your mind, your soul, your spirit, all is one, all is one, all is one, all is one. And ground. The more grounded you are, the higher you'll be able to go. And higher, we say expansive. Expansive. It's not a race. It's not a game. And so those of you that are having challenges knowing what spirit is, ask for the all-knowing of the highest and the most high, that is unconditional love for my highest and my best. What is my next movement? What is that I should know or hear? So ask for the most high. Ask for the most loving and highest and best for you. Know that you will always be pulling forward lessons for you to transcend, for you to alchemize, for you to transmute anything that's in your soul purpose, your soul blueprint. Everybody will at all times. That's why change is always eternal. But we must exercise our divine free will. I'm going to exercise my free will to transcend what I did a moment ago, what I was yesterday. I'm going to transcend this pattern. I'm going to get out of it. I'm going to shake it up. We're here to shake the shit up in a most loving and benevolent and kind way. Everyone's doing the best they can with what they know, and nobody has been taught such grand, profound, universal truths. It's who are you? What do you exist within, and what exists within you? The three most profound questions every day, throughout your day. And you will find that exhilarating and start to create that template that you walk upon. I'm a profound being. I exist within all that is God. I'm a profound being. I exist within all that is spirit. Everywhere I step is spirit. Everywhere I look is spirit. I know what I exist within. I know who I am. I'm creating. I'm an alchemist. I get this, spirit. I get this. And then you remember who you are as your higher self. And you start creating and manifesting all that is good. What comes to you is your highest and your best because you're asking for it. You're not asking to control another. You're not asking to take from another. You're not asking to copy another. You're asking what is in my highest and my best because I know it will be far greater. Why would you want the rewards of somebody that's been copied? Why would that be okay? Again, where have we put our values? Just to attain another subscriber or to attain a momentary satisfaction of numbers? Just to attain somebody saying, hey, you're great, but the vibration really isn't there. So that tells you where their vibration is at. It's all true and real. It's all purposeful. But at some point, there is always truth within it all. And that which is alive, that which is a seer, can see and sense that and know that, see right through it. This is what it is. Truth is truth. To enhance your state of being, for all that is not necessary will be shown. And that's when you can say, I'm going to cut this out. I'm going to cut that out. It's not necessary because I know who I am. I know what I exist within. I know what exists within me. I don't need anything else. I can create 100 times over. I know I can. I can align with spirit and meditation, create something new. Now. That's spirit. That's how you know you're aligned with spirit. And you go in an infinite number of directions. That's spirit. That's creation. That's where we're aligning with our grids. These new systems for financial, these new systems for medicine, these new systems for health and healing. Boom, you're aligned with spirit. Boom, there you go. It's no mess. Spirit is very simplistic. The highest and the best always. If it seems chaotic, if it seems messy, that's not spirit. That's chaotic mess that's trying to confuse you in the energies of not knowing who you are. Because there's a lot of energies in your field that are just noisy and distracting. So do an energy clearing. Cleanse your field, cleanse your bodies, cut cords. And again, what you put out is what you get back. So is it pure and sacred and clean and true and vibrant? Are you living from your truth? How much of your conversation every day is positive and loving for yourself, for others? That creates, and your collective picks it up. The all affects the all. And it's now being shown to us in every way. Can't get away from it. Can't skip over it. You can't jump over it and pretend it's not yours. Everybody will be shown in whatever way they need to. Spirit will never ask for a sacrifice or anything that is detrimental to another. Such is the personal discernment. Spirit is always in the greater good. God knows God everything. God is in everything. God is in everybody. God is in all things. God is God. God is God. God is beyond the beyond, between lines, between life and all life. All life is life. God. That's what God will always direct you. God knows 10 steps ahead before you even make that choice. God knows. God knows what you're going to do because why? Because you're God. God knows your next choice. Why? Because you're God. So are you aligned? Are you tapped in? Are you turned on? I am aligned with God. Thank you, Holy Spirit. Where I walk next, please show me, Holy Spirit. Thank you, Spirit. I am the light of who I am, Holy Spirit. Please clear those densities and those fears and those illusions away from me. I'm tired of packing them. They're not mine. I release all burdens, Holy Spirit. Please release them now. I live in the light of love. Thank you, Holy Spirit, for taking those from me. And within minutes, you will feel lighter. So you can ask, oh yeah. So they said here, benevolence is always for the greater good. That's what benevolence means. That as I ask for me, it will serve the greater good. That's just your knowing. Just your knowing. So if there's anyone in anything, in any group, in any government, in any aspect that is asking you to do something that is not within the greater good, that is your discernment. Are you being led back into ego and karma? Or will you arise and say, no, I'm choosing for me now. I'm choosing for my highest and my best. That is spirit. And sometimes it will absolutely go against the grain of everything you've ever done. It's supposed to. You're shaking shit up. 5D is not 3D. So acknowledge it, accept it, and then get over it. It's kind of time where we're getting off the fence. That's basically what spirit is saying. Time to get off the fence, people. Time to get off the fence. Will it be benevolence or not? It's being shown to everybody. Benevolence or not. All affects the all. If one chooses to sit in ignorance, if one chooses to sit in the damning and the harming of others, that is what exactly will be returned in any way that it needs to, for those wounds within to be resolved. And so it's time for everyone to take accountability for how they feel, for how they're moving about, and to take great honor and acceptance and celebration. Wake up every day celebrating. This is who I am. I'm going to celebrate today. How can I be a positive impact? How can I be a benevolence? And have fun. You're meant to have fun. If it's not having fun, then there's a lot that must be sussed out and let go. Suss it out. What is holding me back? What is making me feel so weighty? Let it go. It's not yours to carry. It's not your wound. It's not your burden. Let it go. And let go of every wound. Why did I carry it? Well, I thought I had to. Thought I was obligated. That was the belief I held. You got to understand the lesson. And Spirit says, well, you got it. Ready to go. Because you know why? Because there will be a moment where 5 months down the road or a year down the road, you're going to be helping someone else let something go. And you got to know how to alchemize it. You're there to help others. That is the benevolent ride of oneness. What you're going through and your story is so profound. That's how you heal yourself and know, wow, that's my gift. I get that. That's awesome. I can alchemize and I can help others alchemize. I can help others find their healing potential. I can help others find their healing capacity. This is so exciting. Oh my gosh, I'm a part of this big story of humanity. I can't wait. And so Spirit will ask you, you can ask Spirit for all the stuff you want, but until you learn the soul's lessons for growth and evolution of why you are exactly where you are, nothing will be granted until it is understood. The trauma, the pain, or the experience, or the role of any participation, etc., that is accounted for and how you arrived there. So again, where are you? How did I get here? What did I believe? Wow, okay, I can let that go. I'm going to go in and do some forgiving. How can I make it right today, Spirit? That's profound mastery. And it's not just in the thinking and the doing. That's going within and alchemizing, pouring that love back into yourself, pouring that love into yourself that you thought you weren't good enough to forgive yourself, that you weren't good enough to seek the forgiveness and to have the forgiveness of others. Everybody is worthy of forgiveness, no matter what they've done. Everyone is worthy. And God will show you that. Spirit will show you that. It has nothing to do with religion. That's what we're breaking. The Adam and Eve project was about the profound imbalance of the inequities and the untruths and the mistruths that we were taught and told from 3D interpreters. That's all we had at the time. And those stories were great and relevant. But now we're ready to step beyond that one perspective. We are one. Divine masculine, divine feminine, harmonizing as one. We are meant to be intuitive. We are meant to be exploratory, and we're meant to be profound because we are, always have been, and always will be. So let's do some tarot, dear lighted ones. Spirit is very excited about these coming changes. Very excited, dear lighted ones. Just going to go in a channel where I do some. So just breathe. We're going to do a collective tarot. You can hear all the hawks and all the eagles. They've just had their little babies. Little babies eagles. Come, eagles. There's a beautiful, beautiful little nest. And the eagles are speaking. Everybody out playing today, and you can hear the birds and the insects moving about. So pay attention, dear lighted ones. Pay attention to the life all around you, dear lighted ones. This is Joanna. We're having so much fun being with you today, dear lighted ones. We're having so much divine excitement of you. We are the councils of light. Thank you so much for tuning in. We are the benevolent beings of holy light from Sirius, from the Pleiades. Thank you, dear lighted ones. We come to you with great joy, dear lighted ones. We're so excited. What we gave to you in your little sermon last week, in which we thought that in our aspects of space, these feel like rides to us, and we're so excited to be upon these waves of love. That's how we see these elements of change. For dear lighted ones, think of it this way. If anything in your reality was unfolding, did not unfold because of love, then what did it unfold because of? For love had to ignite it and to inspire it into something new. That is the shaking about. You are shaking it about because you care, because you love. Isn't that divine? And you feel these waves of movement, of shaking up, the tussling about and the rustling about, whether it's your land or your own heart, whether it's your community, whether it's something in your structures of finance. It is done because it is love. It is love that breaks it up. It is love that finds its way to a new. It is love that breaks it and shakes it. For if you did not love, it would stay stagnant and corrupt. But you love your community. You love your element of oneness. And therefore, dear lighted ones, ride the wave. Be flexible, be malleable, be adaptable. Isianama Aishianana. Asianana kata de Keshia. Asianaka. Sisiananaka, Sisiananaka de Kesisiataka. Tisia mama eaten isianana kata de Keshiana ma isianana dama ishiana. So those are your ancestors speaking to some of you and leaving codes in your field about sacrifice. Some of you are moving through the elements and the reminder of sacrifice from other worlds, and you're feeling the choices that you have to make are somewhat hard and challenging because you're remembering some of the vows that you had taken as far as sacrifice and what you thought you had to do to receive what you wanted or to receive those aspects of yourself. And there is no such thing anymore, dear lighted ones. So feel into, and again, it comes with your daily self-care and reflecting and observing who you are and what you're observing in your reality. When you're feeling the element of sacrifice, what does that mean to you? Is it necessary or is it just an illusion? Is it a vow you taken a long time ago that you can release now? So what are your elements of sacrifice? What did your dogma teach you about sacrifice? And is it relevant for now? You're in an infinite creator code line, spirit. I'm calling you spirit, for you are. You're just forgotten. So call yourself spirit every day. Remind yourselves that you are spirit. My bones and my cells and all is alchemizing as spirit. I am igniting myself anew. Now, now, now I am new. Thank you, spirit. Within breath, I am aligned. Cinema shita la kadaka mai tikadike tinama kadaka ma atk. So I'm just communicating with some of the elementals and the fairies. You can hear the birds are now starting to get active. They always like it when I speak light language. So just so that you know, I'm a conduit and I'm an empath and I'm also a hybrid. They've been wanting me to talk about hybrid lately. I'm a crystal. I'm many things. I don't need to be defined, but many of you and many of the beings that are coming forward in our new future of leadership and healing and teachership is hybrids, the hybrids that are going to be harmonizing as oneness leaders. And these oneness leaders are amalgamating many worlds of galactic trauma and galactic war zones and bringing them into a solidified and a unified front. And many of you will be feeling these experiences in your everyday life. And the hybrids are a fascinating experience of many, many coagulations of DNA specificities that are harmonized and coming together at a very specific touch point in time. The alignment of your stars and your skies and your planets are also in activation of how you spiral as a being of light, because remember, all life is in the spiral and the cycle of now. The alignments of the beautiful experiences and the encapsulation of all that is light is also encapsulating what that is, each individual's DNA activation, and why, again, you can only focus on thyself, because your activation point is not like any others. Your DNA is not like any others. And we are just giving you an expression from the perspective of a hybrid. The hybrids are these amalgamations of various beings and timelines and regions of space through which they can, through only the divine plan and only the divine one, the creator one, in many programs of light that come forward in speaking such truth and vibrational excitement for what you are to step upon, and why you have the DNA and the surprising activations when and how you do, dear related ones. There are never any accidents. Joanna must take a breath, so we are waiting. Thank you, Holy Spirit. And so these codes and these energies and how she does healing and transmutating with her fingers in the light language she speaks with her fingers is like a sign language within the elementals, within the essence of all that is God. It is a language within itself, within itself, within itself, if you will, the threads between threads. Beyond speech and sound, dear lighted ones, all is the essence of spirit, and she understands this, dear lighted ones. And when she was a youngster, she did not have anyone around her that would support her or could support her, for they didn't understand what she was doing and how she would connect with the world around her. She was a high vibrational being with little support and no support at all to bring her gifts to the forefront, and therefore were shut down for many times until the awakening bug stroked the clock. And therefore she began to remember who she was as a multidimensional being in many versions of herself as celestials and ETs coming to life all within her soul. Her soul is very active and alive, and her soul is so expansive and vast. And we celebrate her for coming forward and being the expression of love of all realms. This is the hybridization of the divine within all life. For you all walk within your human bodies, but are your human bodies really human bodies? What you have defined as human will begin to change because you know that you are one with the all. As many of your youth and your junior representations on your planet are showing you about the sexual orientation and the definitions and the roles that they have played and fit themselves within, don't fit, and they're coming up with new definitions and new algorithms. These are all very exciting to us. And these are the code breakers, dear lighted ones. So get used to it and ride the wave. Thank you. That makes my heart so very happy. Thank you, Holy Spirit, for there's grand and great support. And this is why many of us, for those of us that are hybrids, always feel as if we're the only ones walking on this planet that ache for change. And it takes forever, it seems at times, to find those that will support us in this way, to take leaps of faith into new technologies of love and healing and light and healing and leading in the ways of new philosophy for psychology and psychiatry, so that we can truly get to work on why the imbalances occur within the mental body, why the imbalances occur within the physical and the chakra bodies. For there's much at play here, dear lighted ones, and there isn't a version of your experience of medical field that is tapped into it. This is very exciting for us, so ride the wave. And see if there's another message that wants to come through from anybody in the collective that would like to come forward and speak of any galactic or celestial or beautiful Gaia wisdoms. Thank you, Holy Spirit. So, okay. Okay, I don't know what's going to be said, but I think it's going to have something to do with me too, because we've got some big cards here. Wheel of Fortune, Page of Pentacles, which is a new beginning, Star, and Death. So what do we say about shaking things up? How profound is that? How profound is that? The Wheel of Fortune is they're showing me the Wheel of Fortune were showing me as the cyclical representation of who you are becoming in all moments, which you're hybridizing yourself really. You're allowing yourself to become less of who you are and more of who you can be, and shedding the skin, if you will, of what used to create excitement within you, what used to create the entitlement for you to be who you are. The definitions and the happiness and the joy and the satisfactory is now changing and shifting. It's like the compass has changed. And that's why we find the Page of Pentacles is that shifting point of the compass is right in her very center. And it comes from the creative point of the earth and the grounding of the earth and the creativity of who we are, as the sun and the moon and the stars coming into harmonization, and the galactic codes, the celestial codes are all becoming new as you cycle within this new operation of who you are. This new operation of who you are is always changing, dear lighted ones, and always evolving, dear lighted ones. You are constantly on an evolutionary cycle. Who are you? What do you exist within? What exists within you? For we have placed many codes within your field, dear lighted ones, for you to play with. You are a being of this divine holy light. How may you play? Spin that wheel, dear lighted one. Spin it. Be not afraid, for you will just have more fun, and you will cycle in new beginnings and new discoveries and new education and new beginnings. Why are you so afraid? Get playing, dear ones. Get playing. And we had the Star and the Death. And the Star is about the ever becoming alignment with your higher self. And this is where the death always shows us it's a greater alignment. When you move through a death and that shaking about and that bringing that tower down, it always brings you to the greater harmony of who you are as the star. The death must occur in all cycles, just must. What we thought was acceptable, what we thought was okay in 3D is no longer okay. It's not okay we devalue any aspect of life. It's not okay that we have aspects of our collective that control grand aspects of our collective and have suppressed our belief and our believability in who we are as divine creators, that we cannot heal our bodies and we require drugs and synthetics to make us different and make us numb and dumbing us to the reality of who we are. How are these values and set standards okay? You get to choose. There's no right or wrong. There's no one going to say this is your answer. You have to suss that out for yourself. This is what a divine leader and guide will always empower you to. Go back within. Who are you? Don't give your power away. Sort it out for yourself. That's how you gain your confidence. That's how you know who you are. Who are you? And you come to the table each day and you sit down with gratitude and with appreciation. You sit down with certainty. You sit down with surety. I am that I am, and I will lead this place into a new space of love and becoming. I know who I am. I know it feels like love. I will navigate around it, for I've been through it all. Okay, so there was a quick little channel they wanted me to get to there. Is it still valid, Spirit? Shishya mama kada de kese siana na kada de kaya makade de kese shiana na kaya na makada de kese lai na me siana makade in ma ma de ke helera makada de na ma siana makada de kese shiana na ka. She is a harmonization of many masters and many beings that have come forward to you in before lifetimes that you will recognize throughout, and why some of you feel the attraction to her vibration and to her energy. And so just sit back and relax, dear lighted ones, on why you feel engaged at certain times with the codes and with the energies, vibrations presented. For many of you have been in temples, and many of you have been in timelines of such temples, where each of you were partaking in the mastery of co-creating with one another as teacher and student as one. So you will remember these vibrations, for this is what is meant to with such teachers and guides that activate the remembrance of who you are, not to place your power or energy into another, but to reclaim it back within yourself. And every teacher and every guide would have told you that was aligned with the highest and the best of the Most High, for these are your evolutionary becomings, not another's. So claim it for yourself. What is my evolutionary path and plan? Who am I? What is my path look like, Spirit? I'm so excited to awaken every day. Who am I? How can I be aligned with me? So they're showing me the grandest tree that just keeps going up and keeps going out. That's the seeds that you plant, the seeds that you alchemize within, from the rooting up and the breaking up and the creating of those new roots, and you seed new experiences of who you are. You get to choose who you are. That is the seeding of who you are. And every moment it's new, whether it's health, whether it's abundance, or whether it's a new career or vocation. You get to choose what you sow. And those seeds will come forward to you, and it will show you, what have I sown? My goodness. How am I aligned or not aligned? Boy, that's a great compass for me. That is the Page of Pentacles for me. How can I move about and navigate? That's how you will know, dear lighted ones, what is before you. It's not rocket science. What is before you? It's always simple. Spirit is always very simple. And yet, as you observe and reflect, the perplexities and the contrasting experiences are so dynamic. And this is how you become a master, is by reflecting on the dynamics of it, the juxtapositions of what you have called good and bad and what you have called less than or more. So release all definitions. Allow yourself to be all. When you release that and you just relax into your becoming, you don't have to define yourself. It's all is all. All is one. You all play a part. Every moment you play a part. Realign to love. That's why you're here, to remember, to become an awakening, to become in the knowingness that you are love. And so create in such, dear lighted ones. We send you many great wishes. We send you many great blessings. We love you all so dearly, and we are so very excited about this ride that you are on as you shake things up and become more of who you are. Fall in love with who you are, dear lighted ones. That is your greatest gift. Remember and fall in love with who you are. Gaia is calling you too, and she loves you dearly. Thank you, dear lighted ones, and we send you rainbow love and kisses. If anybody would like to send us any donations, our links are below, and we send you love and light. Rainbow kisses. Bye.